Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live, as always, on In Between Media, sports, lifestyle, everything in between. A special edition Monday night golf betting. We have reached the final tournament before the FedEx Cup playoffs. It is the Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield Country Club in North Carolina. It's a pretty unremarkable tournament, but we're going to make something out of it. We're going to win some good money betting on it. Let's join us after the break. Thank you once again for joining us. A special Monday night edition. Connor is on location in the backwoods of Minnesota. He's actually reporting live from Joe Mauer's cabin. How are you doing there? Yes, we do have to take victory laps because both of us were aggressive on betting the best golfer in the world. Weird that we had to be aggressive on betting the best golfer in the world to win the Olympics. But here we are. Props to both of us. Pats on the back. Good job. Good job, Connor. Good job, Bo. Winning people money. We do have screenshots from our winning listeners and consumers. Excellent work. We also had a nice pop on the top 5 finish for Victor Perez. Congrats to Victor. Even though he did not medal, he got 4th place. Great job. He was just barely missed out on a 22-1 payout for top European thanks to Tommy Fleetwood, who never wins anything other than a silver medal. Yeah, we didn't cash that one. And then even Corey Connor, shout out Canada, he actually passed the test, and Corey Connor snuck into the top 10. So yep. I do owe Royal Slade a bottle thanks to an American winning gold, but not sweeping the podium. That was the bet. I will have a bottle sent to you, or I'll probably, judging by the shipping to Canada, probably just Venmo you some money. I mean, I'll just Venmo you American dollars because I know that they're worth quite a bit up there.
Yeah, Scotty's officially an international terrorist now.
Oh, man. He went to France and did work on Sunday afternoon. My God.
What a year for that dude.
Hey, man, couldn't happen to a better guy. I mean, he's easy to root for. He's just a wholesome guy. Perfect in every way. I haven't found anything wrong with him, so let's root for him. Let's clap our hands for the American hero going to the Olympics, and watching Jon Rahm just completely implode. That made me even happier. What a whiny little turd, and to see him have a chance to win 4-shot lead at the turn and wasn't even in the picture by the time he finished up on Sunday. Love to see it. Love to see the guy who whines about every little thing completely collapse, and the guy who's literally never complained about anything, even when he lost to Steven Yeager in a playoff, or lost out on a 3-foot putt to get a playoff with Steven Yeager earlier in the season. What did he do? He said he was just better. And what, he win like 5 of the next 6 tournaments? Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler's got the right mindset to do this thing.
Yeah, Rahm, I was just calling him a crybaby bitch for like 4 days straight. So,
hey, if the shoe fits.
No, for sure. And yeah, I mean, yeah, we got props to Scotty. I mean, what a hell of a run on Sunday. Ooh. I mean, bringing home the gold for the U.S. Awesome.
So much fun.
You had Rory, who had a minor implosion as well after that water shot on what was it, 15, 16?
Mm-hmm.
He was making a run, man, and then he did Rory things.
Well, I really hope that Ted Scott had enough money to get back home, because there's no prize money for going to Paris. Ted Scott, he's hurting for certain, man. He's made more money than most tour players this year just on residuals for carrying Scotty's bag. Ted Scott, pour one out for him. No prize money in Paris.
Nope. But and then to your point earlier, Tommy, always a bridesmaid, never the bride. So good to see that continue.
He's got the bridesmaid hair, bridesmaid dress in the mail.
And then, I mean, Hideki, God bless him, decided to play a full tournament and looked good doing it. So,
and poor went out for Tom Kim. Just missed out on being able to avoid mandatory military service for South Korea. You'll get it. You got a few more shots at the pie here. He's got another couple Asian games and another Olympic games to get that qualification. All he has to do is medal, and he is out of that. Same thing goes for, I think, Ben On was eligible for getting the pass, because as a South Korean native, he had mandatory military service for, I think, by age 28, if that's right.
Sounds right. I feel like we talked about this last time around with Siwoo. So
yeah, and Sung Jae medaled with Siwoo and they both were able to avoid the military service for South Korea together at the Asian Games. So good job to those guys a couple of years ago. Sung Jae is going to be a hot topic on this show. So is Siwoo. I think the Wyndham at Sedgefield, it is what it is. It's the last kind of silly tournament before the real stuff starts. It's not a major. It's not elevated. It's not the playoffs. It's just a PGA Tour event, and it's on a really nice golf course, but they're getting hit by Hurricane Debbie this week. So have fun with that, boys. You're on the bubble trying to get into the top 70 this week, and you got a hurricane in your way. Good luck.
Yeah, it's coming in too. I just talked to my parents down in South Carolina, and they're starting to get hit right now. So it's happening. It's coming.
Debbie, snack cakes and all, she's coming in with the wind and rain now.
I liked your Swiss cake rolls earlier.
Yeah, Swiss cake rolls and gale force winds, inches of rain. So,
what are you drinking? Anything?
I got a nice cold brew, a white chocolate macadamia cream cold brew from Starbucks.
Sounds delightful. Is it oat milk?
No, good old fashioned cow cream.
Oh, well, you're not super basic bitch then.
No. I mean, I like oat milk, but this drink I don't like to complicate things for the barista, because the more things you add on to their typing in correctly and then making correctly, the more chance they're going to mess it up. So I'm just going to order it the way it is on the menu. That way they're probably programmed to do it normally. So I figure it's an easier shot to get what tastes good rather than complicating matters for somebody making minimum wage.
That's why my order has and will forever be either an iced Americano or 2 shots espresso over ice. That's it. That's all I get. Period.
You can't mess that up.
No.
They haven't. They will not. That's as easy as it gets for them.
Yep, it will forever be my order for exactly that reason. But I've called you basic, but I mean I'm pounding down Trulies right now. So
it is truly basic.
I figure when in Rome, out here on the lake, it seems to be what all the cool kids are drinking is some kind of seltzer. So puppy cameo.
Yeah. So she wants to hear about Sedgefield right
it's my
here.
favorite tournament because I get to listen to you say it that way for an hour.
Yeah. Yes, Seth will be ripping some bush lattes with me starting Thursday night, I'm guessing, because that's when I'll be in Canton, Ohio for the Fantasy Football Expo. If you haven't already, buy your tickets and get to Canton starting on Thursday night, Friday.
Next year, maybe.
Yeah, you gotta bring a child into this world, or at least be there when your wife does that.
That's true.
Your contribution to the whole thing is minimal, so that's good.
My contribution to most things in my marriage is pretty minimal.
Ain't that the truth? All right, let's hit the drop for caddy notes. We want to see Brad, Chad, and Thad one more time before the playoffs start. All So, Connor, Sedgefield Country Club, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Am I getting
down
ripped?
barbecue country?
I'm getting ripped.
Yeah, Chelsea is roasting you.
Unbelievable. Unreal, really.
It's actually quite believable. She's good for a good Connor roast. It's probably because you're out of town and you're like I don't have to see this person, so it's easy. It's a captive audience. She knows that you're in Minnesota, and she's back probably in Sioux Falls just laughing it up.
Nobody go on social media and look me up, because then you see my wife and it gets further ridiculous that I somehow
you outkicked your coverage by like epic proportions.
She is an unbelievable human being, and she puts up with me. So win-win-win.
Win-win-win-win.
Yeah. So let's see. Shall we talk about this unremarkable course?
It's short. It's easy.
Yep.
And it's going to be hit by a hurricane. So 23 under par.
So Wyndham Championship at Sedgefield, North Carolina, par 70, yardage 7131-ish. Fairways and greens are both Bermuda. Super, super easy course. We do have some tree-lined fairways, but they really don't affect it too much. The fairways are pretty easy to hit. The rough is usually fairly low, pretty easy to navigate. There are lots of runoffs on the greens, but Bo, how big are the greens?
Enormous.
So the runoff matters pretty much zero. Approach and putting are the only sticky. That's the name of the game. Hit good approach shots, make your putts, don't give any strokes back. Key to success. So birdies and bunches, especially when we get into DraftKings, you're going to want to look for guys that are able to go on streaks and get the bonuses. Par fives are very, very gettable. So guys that have high rates of eagles wouldn't be a horrible thing to look at here either. One thing about the par fours, there are 8 of them that measure 400 to 450. So
that's a
little bit of a cheat code this week. It's pretty much dial in that range.
I think I saw as high as 9 of them this week will be in that range.
I think it depends. Like, that's why I said on the yardage, it's 7131-ish. It can be as short.
They move the tees around, yeah.
Could be as high as like 72. When they stretch it to 72, believe it or not, I think that's what takes that 9th one out of the equation, bumps it up to like 500.
They move that tee box back just a little bit, moves it from 390 it moves it from 450 to 452 or something like that. It's crazy.
Yeah, for not giving a shit about this course, we know about it.
Yeah, we've done quite well over the years too. I think we were actually for some reason on Lucas Glover last year when he won, which is, I mean, we're never on Lucas Glover.
I don't know what it was. He popped, and you and I both. I think he was like, we were rounding third on ending the show, and we both were like, by the way, you might want to look at Lucas Glover. But,
yeah, it was his approach metrics, which are spectacular, by the way. They still are. The dude hasn't made a putt since Nam, so we're gonna have to hope, if we're gonna bet on him again this year at 100-1, that he can make the first putt that he's made this year. But yeah, that's just what the name of the game is: hit it close and make some putts.
Yeah, in the approach ranges too, like the second shot that you're going to have on the majority of these is going to be somewhere in the 100 to 175 range, and more specifically about 125 to 175 is most of them. Mm-hmm. So Bo hit on the weather. Hurricane is bearing down on this place. It looks like really the worst day we're going to have is Thursday. They're going to get blasted all day. The thing that's interesting is right now they're not projecting the hurricane to stick around, but the path that I'm hearing reports down south with, it's moving at like 7 miles an hour, which is like ridiculously slow. So it may linger a smidge longer than what they thought.
It's just going to set up camp right over the Carolinas.
Which if it does, I mean, this is going to play kind of interesting. If it does move in and out as quick as possible, I'd think the score is going to be somewhere in excess of 20 under. Probably -2 would be the cut. I mean, like I said, this is a super easy course. Even though the field isn't awesome, it's a really gettable course.
Yep, can't agree more. All right, what do you say we bet on some golf?
Win on some golf? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, we have been doing that lately. I mean, everybody who's watching the show knows that. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge at this point.
Everybody that watches this show just bought a summer home somewhere nice.
Hopefully not in Carolina. tighter than that French pole vaulter.
Dude. I don't know whether that guy is he's gonna be worshipped. I mean,
oh God, man, that dude is set for life. He doesn't need an Olympic medal.
No,
he went viral for all the best things. Good job, dude. Way to be born that way.
That hog wrapped around that bar.
He's like, he didn't even need a fucking pole for the vault, man. He just springed him.
Cool, guys. I brought my own from home.
Yeah, he sprung into action there. 27 meters, huh? I got that. Hey, bro's talented. He doesn't need an Olympic medal.
He's got a real career ahead of him in film.
I don't even think he needs that. He can just do whatever he wants. He probably already owns a car dealership in France.
I was going to say something really filthy. Anyways.
Moving on to Club Twirls. Top of the board here is a young man from South Korea who is 14-1, and he is in great form. And he's done pretty well at this golf course over the years. Sungjae Im, are we in? Are we out? I mean, it's kind of a short number for him, but it's a long number for an outright favorite. Where do you fall on this side of it? Because I do have him high in my model. I do love me some Sungjae. That's well known.
You said it pretty much perfectly. It's a short number for him, but it's maybe the longest number we've had on a favorite. So,
right.
And I do think he sets up incredibly well here. He's been playing amazing golf, and really he hits on all the metrics we're looking at here too. Like, this really is a great course fit for Sungjae. So, I mean, I won't belabor it. Like, for me, it's a lot like Scotty last week. Like, and I'm going to bet pretty heavy on Sungjae. I think 14-1 is a great number on him, and he's a better course fit than anybody else based on the modeling I did. So, yeah, he gets the tip this week.
I do have some concerns. Since he is the betting favorite, I did dive deeper, and you know me, I'm the filter guy. I like to filter my model, condense it down as much as possible to figure out, okay, if I'm going to bet this guy as a favorite, I want to feel great about it. And I feel good about Sungjae at 14-1, but his metrics in the approach buckets that we're looking at, not great. He's good everywhere else. Ball striking, generally speaking, Sungjae is a great pick. He is rated well, but we're talking the bottom of this field, which is not a great field in those short area approach buckets. I'm not sold on it. I think I'm going to go to his fellow countryman from South Korea at 22-1, who also has lots and lots of success at Sedgefield. Siwoo Kim, friend of the show. What say you on I think weighted wise, I think obviously we think Sungjae is a little bit better than Siwoo Kim, but the betting odds are different. So generally speaking, what do you think about comparing those two?
So yeah, I went between the two of them also, and it what's interesting about it is the way I weighted the two models I ran. If you look at it just at face value, Siwoo rates out pretty poorly. You just look at the stats that we would look at for this course, not great. When you kind of dial it in to be specifically like geared towards Sedgefield, all of a sudden Siwoo pops up quite a bit. I think the only question marks I have with Siwoo, and the reason why I kind of gave the nod to Tom Kim, or Sungjae Im rather, is it's just with Siwoo, like, he's so volatile. Like, the putter is so bad. And
it's bad.
and the two sticky stats, like I said, are stellar approach and putting. Like, if you look at it, every year the tournament's been held here, it is those two things that determine the winner. And so at the top of the board, I'm just going to lean Sungjae just because I think he's got a better short game than Siwoo does. And that's really the main reason.
Definitely a better short game. One thing that was encouraging for Siwoo was 3-putt avoidance. He's actually 33rd in this field, which I thought was a nice surprise for him since he's 94th in overall short game. In the approach game, from tee to green, how I have it ranked, He's number 1 from tee to green. He's number 1 ball striking, and he's number 4 in fairways gained, which I didn't really put a lot of emphasis on the off the tee work, but I did want guys who are going to be accurate off the tee, because if you're not in these very nice ample fairways, you're not going to be able to get yourself in position for a lot of birdie chances. And if you don't make a lot of birdies here, you're going to miss the cut. And Siwoo last year damn near missed the cut on us, even though he rated out really well. I think that we're catching Siwoo at a really kind of interesting time, because the metrics say he should be great, and then the real results are kind of weird. But I just feel something about Siwoo Kim. I think he's in a good place, a more consistent place than he was last year, and that's kind of why I'm starting my card with him.
Yeah, and like I said, I was between the two of them really heavy, and I just gave the nod to Sungjae, so I wouldn't fault anybody for going Siwoo. Siwoo fits it really well too. We just need the putter to be flat. That's it, and we talk about that a lot. So
yes. All right, so going down the board, we have a number of guys who seem to fit this course pretty well. You got Shane Lowry there and Billy Horschel, both playing pretty well, both pretty good on short courses, especially Bermuda courses in Horschel's case. 22-1 for each one of those guys seems a bit short, especially for Horschel. What do you think about those two guys? I mean, neither one of them has avoided 3 putts or any kind of approach, like short approach. Lowry is the interesting one for me, because this guy can't putt. He has no short game, and his approach game's been pretty sporadic. Horschel's just been hot lately. I don't know what to make of those two. That's kind of why I'm on Siwoo as well, because it drops down pretty far after that.
Yeah, I don't drop down super far after that, but I'm not in on Lowry or Horschel. Look, Horschel lately, but the rest of the season's been abysmal. Yep. And to your point with Lowry, outside of like the 125 to 150 range, like there's really nothing about Lowry that screams good course fit here. And I just, that's a short number on Shane Lowry. It really is.
Yep. And he's not a good putter, and that will be important here.
Not the best putter. I mean, there's worse guys, to be clear, but I mean, he's not great.
It's a tale of two models for me on Brian Harman at 28-1. He's number 6 in my flat model and number 30 in my mixed condition model. That is a little bit scary. It also kind of, I always err on the side of my mixed condition model because it's more filtered. Brian Harman hasn't done diddly shit this year, so I'm actually happy my mixed condition model knocks him down a couple pegs. What say you on Brian Harman?
Yeah, I'm looking into Brian Harman a little bit more just because, like you said, the two models I ran, my basic static model, he came out 4th in my mixed condition, which is pretty akin to what you did. He actually was worse than what you got him at. I had him at 57.
What do we do? What do we do?
Well, and the thing that continues to kind of linger as I keep looking at him in different capacities, he's not awesome at that par 4 scoring range, the 400 to 450. Like, he's not bad, he's just not great. And then par 5 scoring, we know Harman notoriously is bad on par 5 scoring. And like we talked about, you've got to score here. So like, I just have concerns about his ability to actually score and get to that 20, 22 range.
You know what I don't like about Harman? In that 125 to 150, he's 98th.
Also, you just don't like Brian Harman.
No, I hate him. I will find any reason to discount him popping 6th in my first run model.
South Harmon Institute of Technology.
Good Lord. There's a couple guys who are like that too, where they pop up pretty nice in my unfiltered model and then plummet. Most of them are kind of a little bit farther down the next tier. Do you have anybody else in that kind of 30 to 35 range you're looking at?
Yeah, Davis Thompson I'm going to go to, and I think part of the issue with his mixed condition model results, because he pops number 3 in my static one. The mixed condition, he takes a severe nosedive, but I don't think it's outside of sane rational thought to say that Davis Thompson is having an abnormally good season, and maybe this is who Davis Thompson is finally. Like, we're finally seeing the player that he could be.
He figured out how to win.
Yeah, and so I think in a course like this, in a lesser field, like, there's just a lot of things that line up really well based on what he's been doing recently, including that win. He's number 1 in the field in par 5 scoring. He's number 2 in birdie or better rate. He's number 1 in overall strokes gained tee to green over the last 24 rounds. it's just tough to not throw a bet on him at that 35-1. Especially when you look at some of the guys that are around him, like Jordan Spieth's the same number, and Jordan Spieth, I don't even think Jordan Spieth turns correctly into the parking lot of the tournament anymore. So I mean, like,
I don't even know if Jordan Spieth knows he's in this field.
He may not. And then you got guys like Min Woo that are in here. Like, I don't know why Min Woo is so short at this. You got Cam Young, who does absolutely nothing. Like, right. I mean, Davis Thompson and Seabass at 35-1. I kind of like those.
Akshay Bhatia is at 35-1 also, but he is 0 for 3 making the cut here at Sedgefield. That's not great. And it's mostly because of his off the tee accuracy. He's not great at finding fairways, even if they're easy. Obviously, he fits great in the approach buckets, but if you can't find the fairways here, you're not going to be in those nice approach buckets making lots of birdies like he can do when there's less penalty for missing fairways off the tee. If you miss these fairways, you are actually pretty screwed because of the tree line. It's just, for some reason, Akshay doesn't play well here, and we have to pay attention to that. Three appearances, 3 missed cuts, and 35-1. It's not a good sight.
Yep, I agree. I'm still looking into him just because of the wedge play, but ultimately, like, I think Akshay becomes more of a play for me if the weather does something different than what they're predicting. Then I think it's a lot more Akshay.
Come on, Debbie.
I got some interest in Aaron Rai at that 30 number, but to be honest, just going to go Davis Thompson and Christian Bezaden, who I like a couple extra points on him. And I think ultimately, I don't think that he's got any more win equity than either of them do. So,
yeah. How about Luke Clanton? 45-1. I actually like Cam Davis, the Aussie, a little bit better than Clanton, just because of track record and just recent form. Clanton started off super hot a couple months ago, and he cooled off as soon as we got on him. What do you think about those two, 40 and 45-1 respectively, before we get another tier break? What say you on those two?
Sorry, I had a little bit of internet issue there. I know you said Luke Clanton. Who was the other one?
The other guy right there below him, Cam Davis. I actually prefer Cam Davis over Luke Clanton this week just because of recent form. Clanton has cooled off.
Yeah, Clanton's cooled off, but I think Clanton's going to be my guy. You know, I'm not going to miss it when it happens, and it's going to happen. I mean, he's even with the kind of cooling off, he's still rating out really well, and he doesn't take the extreme nosedive in the mixed condition model, even though he's got a limited amount of rounds with those conditions, which I think helps that. But I think the thing with Cam Davis that is just becoming a real thing with him is I just can't get him right. Like, like you just never know what version of him you're going to get. And I just think Clanton's more consistent, believe it or not. I mean, I know it's a short sample size, but like ultimately Clanton seems to be the more consistent guy. So I'm going to keep riding that.
All right, and going down here, any interest in Keegan Bradley, Thomas Dietrich, Nikolai Højgaard? Looked pretty good at the Olympics last week. Anybody in this next 50-1 tier? It's a big tier. Even more guys at 55 and 60 to sift through. But those two guys kind of popped up for me just on recent form.
Keegs is interesting.
Yeah, he rates out really well here.
Yeah, I think that would be more course fit than anything. Like, he should do well here. Højgaard, I'm a little standoffish. I just think that he had a kind of an emotional roller coaster Saturday and Sunday at the Olympics. A lot of highs and lows. He's got to travel over here. I don't normally do the narratives, but like we've had a hard time with consistency as far as Højgaard's concerned in the first place. So I just don't know. I don't know what version we're going to get this week, and I think it's going to be kind of a jet lag, emotionally burnt out version. So I think I'd have more interest in Keegan than I would in Højgaard.
Very true. You got Mav here, Johnny Vegas, recent winner. Kurt Kitayama needs to get into that top 70 out of the bubble. Doug Gim is a par 5 assassin, really, really accurate off the tee. Can he get a short game to support that? Kashmir Keith and Eric Kohler here. I'm really interested in Eric Cole. JT Poston playing like garbage right now, but should do well on a course like this. What's going on with this group of guys? We're talking about inconsistency city.
I think from Kitayama all the way down, like, to be honest, almost to 80, all of these guys are top 10, top 20 style bets. I don't think anybody in here has the chops to win. Like, I know that's a bold stance with this many guys, but
I think you're right, though.
I think that this is much more a placement prop play than it is an outright. I think if I had to pick somebody down in this whole section that I think has a shot, I think it's Gracerman. I think he's been doing a lot of things. He's starting to be very consistent in all aspects of his game. Starting to be in competition every single week that he tees it up. So I guess if I was looking at form and upside, it'd probably be him at plus 7,000.
Yeah, I'm interested in Gracerman. He rates out okay for me. It wasn't something I was on my radar initially. Another guy that's on definitely my radar after last week, making me money, Victor Perez at 75 to 1. This is a pretty similar course to last week in Paris. And so if he's not jet lagged, I mean, he's probably already stateside practicing at Sedgefield right now. But for me, I like guys that make me money, and when I have one guy that's dead to me and another guy that just won me money, I think I'll take the guy that won me money, Victor Perez over Adam Svensson, even though Svensson rates out better.
Yeah, I don't mind the Victor Perez call. Victor Perez to me has a safer, like, top 20 and maybe even a top 10. Yeah. I just can't get to anybody in here for an outright. So I would defer to you if you are making a bet on an outright in here, I would defer to you, because in transparency, I'm not. So,
okay. Well, I think we can both agree that we love Mac Meisner because he's so awesome.
I do like Mac Meisner. I do like Andrew Novak, who, despite your criticisms, has actually started doing a lot of good things for us. Like, he's
results wise, though. Results, results with these stats, because the stats look great.
Stats look great. DFS performance looks great. He's okay. I don't want to say that he's not in contention. He's another guy, though, that, like, again, I'd probably be looking at a top 20. I think
he's a top 20, top 30 type guy.
Mac Meister, I think the upside's there. Him and Harry Hall at that plus 9,000. I like them both. Harry Hall's been doing a lot of good things lately too. So I think those are two really high upside guys in that 90 range.
And if you just need a cut made, go with the Todd Father at 90 to 1. Another top 20, top 30 guy. Todd Father rates out well on accuracy-based courses. He's great on approach. He's a solid all-around player. He's accurate off the tee. He's not going to beat himself. That he doesn't do anything in better fields, but on shorter courses that just need solid all-around play, Brendan Todd is a good one. Chan Kim, all the volatility. This dude cannot putt. He has no short game whatsoever, but he has the upside with his ball striking as good as it is. He's great on approach, great off the tee. But yeah, if he's off even a little bit with his approach game, this guy is going to make lots of big numbers. And I don't know that really comes into play at Sedgefield for the Wyndham, but Chan Kim's got upside. He's definitely got upside, but he's got a very, very low floor.
Yeah, the most intriguing thing about Chan Kim, and he did make my article at 90 to 1, is he's number 6 in this field tee to green. What has absolutely torpedoed his finishes has been his putter. But
he cannot putt.
But what's interesting about the putter in Chan Kim is over the last 3 starts, he's actually gained strokes every single time he's up in putting. So
outstanding.
You can read it. You can read more about it in my column. But like I said, the thing with Chan Kim is he is 100% one of those guys we talk about that if we have a flat putting week out of him, ball striking is so good that he could definitely win this tournament.
Mm-hmm. And that's what we're looking for. When we're betting on golf, we want the guys with the upside. All right.
Tristed Spawn there. I won't talk about that much. Spawn just
JJ Spawn. Well. Yeah, he does. He's a short course, easy field assassin.
Then from there, I got Silverman at plus 15,000, and Chandler Phillips, my FOMO bet of the week, at plus 17,000. So those are my last two on the card.
All right, and the last two on my card, I'm gonna pull it up again because I already forgot. Just leave it to me. Okay, Bud Colley, my FOMO guy. I just want Bud Colley to do well. 250 to 1. I think he's better than that, especially in this field where, again, volatility. He's a great player when he's hot and really bad when he's not. And then my really, really deep shot, 350 to 1 for the approach assassin himself, Grayson Sig Sauer.
I like it. Done dumber shit with $5. That's for sure.
No shit, man. 350 to 1 in this field is insane. To think that a guy who's done pretty well this season, Grayson Sig, has been a solid player. He rates out extremely well on approach. Another guy that if he gets a flat putter, he can do some things, make this cut, push for a top 10. At those odds, you could throw a couple bucks on outright, but I'm looking at top 20, top 30, top 40, maybe even a trifecta of all three of those, because those have really soft lines themselves. So we're getting some good numbers on a guy who, if he makes the cut, he's going to pay us a lot of money.
Well, and you could go and do like a, to make the cut parlay with like Silverman and, Silverman, Spawn, Kim, and
have fun with it. Throw a buck on the parlay and win 50, 60 bucks, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do down here at the bottom, just kind of buckshot and some cool parlays together. Like, I don't know. I might screw around with that over the next few days just because I think
it's the Wyndham. Who cares?
I'm not going heavy on anything.
But we're getting action. We're getting action. We got to get the skin in the game.
We just got to keep winning like we are. So I got to
put on my pole vaulting pants and go to Sedgefield. And
I don't know that you're going to have the same results.
Well, it's not cold here, so we're good to go.
Yeah, don't go swimming first, though.
All right, no trunk slams. I cannot believe it, but I pulled off a comeback victory against you for the Olympic gold by 2 points. We had two different players, and your guy actually finished better in the standings, but I scored more DFS points, so winning streak. We're starting a winning streak. It has happened before. No trunk slams.
The club as well. This would be a wrestling slam.
All right, you're going to have to help me out with this ownership because it's all over the place. And DFS is going to be kind of fun this week, even though there's not many edges to be had, in my opinion. Connor, what do you think about the top of this board with Sung J M and a couple other guys here? Where'd he go? He ran away. So, top of this board here, we got Sung J M coming in at a very expensive. You got Sung J M? You get a drink. Good Lord. I'm trying to find pricing.
I had an issue. I had my computer was dying, so.
Oh, you got to plug it in.
Yeah. Whew. I ran. Fat guys don't run.
No. I know firsthand. So
all right.
DraftKings, Sung J M, 10-7. Pretty reasonable for the top guy. He's pretty popular by the look of it. There's a couple other guys that are popular that I actually want to get in on. What are you doing with this top of this board? Are we starting at 10K flat? Are we starting with Sung J and just letting it ride at the bottom? A lot of ways to go here.
Yeah, so I've built a couple different ways. I've started at the top. For DFS, I'm leaning more towards like a balanced build. Just because I know I can get 6 of 6 through. Like there's a very defined way to build in the middle. Sung J though, I firmly believe that he's probably going to win, and I think in this situation he by proxy will be the highest DK scorer as well. So I think I'm going to eat a lot of chalk and have a lot of Sung J lineups this week.
Okay.
So that's kind of, I have no interest in Lowry. I got no interest in Horschel. Siwoo,
yeah.
I do, but
Thompson, yeah, I feel you. I think we're in lockstep at the top here again. Again, this is actually quite similar to the Olympics, golf course wise and like strategy wise, because we have a defined top and then it kind of drops off in a hurry as far as DFS scoring goes. Sungjae, I think I'm going to eat some of the chalk, but I'm not going to be as aggressive there because I want to get in on the Siwoo leverage. It's coming in under 15%, which for me is excellent. Excellent. I love it. I just hope the Siwoo shows up this week. A little chalky on Davis Thompson too, but I think I'll be more confident about eating Davis Thompson chalk than Sungjae chalk for some reason.
I think it's the rest of the lineup construction. I mean,
It really does come down to that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of think that's the advantage to going Davis Thompson, or maybe Brian Harmon is chalky chalk. I can't do that, but like Davis Thompson.
Ask me what I'm doing with that.
Fade?
Fading like a barber.
But I think a lot of people are doing balanced. Like as I look at the roster, like the rostership, there's like this congregation of like a 15 to 20% rostership that resides in this like 8,200 up to like the 9,700 range.
Yeah, Kevin is right there. Horschel's there.
I think there's a lot of like 2 and 3 9K guys to start builds going on based on what I'm looking at.
Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, it makes sense to me. Aaron Rye is an easy fade for me on DFS. He doesn't score any points. He's just like Shane Lowry. I like the player. I just don't like DFS. We want to score a lot of points. And even if those guys play well, they're not going to score as many points as a streaky player who gets hot and wins this thing. Like anybody at the top that we've talked about. It's just like Luke Clanton at 8,600, I think is going to blow all these guys away. Aaron Rye and Minwoo Lee and Cameron Young are getting all this chalk. They're not going to score that many points because I don't get it. I don't get where we get all this extra chalk around a guy that hasn't done anything in a while.
No, and I mean to your point, you kind of segued right into it. Like I kind of love the idea of going Seabez, Clanton, Keegs, and Højgaard. And
yeah,
I mean, you still are going to have like 7,400 left for your last two guys if you do that.
Ooh, yes,
and that's kind of what I was talking about. None of those guys are chalky. All of them have pretty solid floor to make the cut, and all of those guys I just named have upside to win.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think that's kind of where I'm at. To your point with Aaron Rye, like I think if it were maybe a different tournament where we de-emphasize like needing to go super low,
yeah,
maybe I'd be more in. Cam Davis is right there, but he's getting to be pretty chalky too.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the eighth, it's probably Clanton and Bradley are my two big ones, and then I'll sprinkle in some Højgaard.
Yeah, then the chalk is pretty reasonable other than Eric Cole down at 7,700, who I'm going to probably split the difference on. I really like Eric Cole this week, but I'm not like ultra confident in him enough to meet the 23% that he's being rostered right now. I'll probably take advantage of some leverage around him. It's just, I mean, Gracerman's coming at 10%. You got guys down here with course history success like Steven Yeager's only at 3%. And it's just for some reason the chalk is concentrated pretty heavy at the top in certain areas that I like and other areas that I don't like. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see where it splits, because the calculated ownership percentage and the actual like fantasy national rostership percentage, it's widely different between those two on a lot of guys. So I'm interested to see how it shakes out as we get later in the week, because it is only Monday.
What is it about Cole that's got you going this week? And I'm not even challenging you. I just like
no. Approach and putting. He's not great off the tee. We all know that, but he's in good recent form and it's a good price. So Cole pops for me. It's just, for me, I want more confidence in a guy. Like, he played great last year, but it hasn't been that kind of year for him.
No. Yeah, I was just curious. Like I know typically he does putt well. He's been kind of off and on approach, but he did do well here last year. So maybe lesser field gets back on the horse a little bit here.
He's got the talent for it for sure. I just don't know if I love him that much at that number, especially when you have guys around him like Max Graserman, for example, and Steven Yeager, and Nick Dunlap is down here. And I know you hate him, but he's only coming at 1%, and that's at 7,500, where he should do well. It's a Bermuda golf course. It's short. He's a great approach player. There's quite it's pretty weird down here as we get cheaper. A lot of the guys that I'm looking at are kind of concentrated.
I don't hate Nick Dunlap. That's strong.
You totally hate him.
That's strong.
It's okay. But are you gonna take this nice free leverage on him? Do you hate him enough to fade a leverage play?
No, I'll have Dunlap, and I played Dunlap the last time he teed it up too. I kind of screwed me a little bit, but
yeah, he screwed me too. He's not dead to me like Adam Svensson, but
Tony Finau.
No, he's dead. And that's a really good golfer to be dead to you too. Like, yeah, Svensson dead to me is like whatever. I can fade him easy.
Tony Finau will never. Yeah, getting down to the lower sevens though. I think you hit on Doug Gim earlier. He's rating out pretty well. He's sub 10% projected, so I don't mind the Doug Gim play. Ben Griffin is another guy that we've had relative success with. I
like Ben Griffin in DFS, yes.
Habitual cut maker. He might be like my last guy in some lineups, which will be great. I think having your last guy in get through the cut is always a win. JJ Spawn, like I said, he's getting to be a little popular, but he's a short course specialist. 7,200, I think, is actually a pretty good price on him. He can get pretty damn hot.
Yes.
And then for me, rounding out the sevens, it's Andrew Novak at 7,100. He is actually the chalkiest player in the sevens at projected 13.5%.
Yeah.
Right, neck and neck with Mac Meisner.
Yep.
So yeah, it's Novak, Hall, and Meisner are actually my three favorite guys in the sevens. They all are relatively close. Hall's the leverage there, but
oh yeah, for sure. And Hall's playing great golf this year. It's kind of a quiet story, but Harry Hall was in that playoff at the ISCO, the 5-man playoff. He's hot right now, and this is kind of a similar field to what we had at the ISCO. It's a little stronger at the top, but not much different. I am going to have Victor Perez and Michael Thorbjornsen in the pool. I think this course fits Thorbjornsen's game a little bit better than we saw at the 3M and John Deere, where, yeah, he makes a lot of birdies, but he was making some mistakes where he doesn't really have an off-the-tee advantage, but at a course like this, he kind of does, where it's not going to kill him to miss to hit it down there and have a wedge in. He's shown the propensity to make a lot of birdies. He's coming in pretty chalky in the lineups that have already been created, but he's also projected to fall back a little bit. So I do like Thorbjornsen's talent here. I don't know if I'm enthusiastically playing him above chalk, but I mean, I don't want to miss that one. He pops. And the Todd Father coming in at 11% at 7K flat. I think he's a great fit for this course. DFS-wise, not much upside, but he'll be in the pool. What about Rico Hoey?
I know. He's right there.
Ben Coles.
Ben Coles, yes. Ben Coles is in the pool.
Chan Kim's down here. Pearson Cootie's down here.
Yeah, I'm just resorting it to get into that lower 7, upper 6 range for me.
Yeah, I don't want to be down in the 6s at all if I can help it.
I mean, the guys that I've identified down there, like I actually feel really good about, like Chan Kim, Daniel Berger, and Joel Damon. I think I feel good that they'll make the cut. And then I think outside of maybe Chan Kim, I don't know that any of those guys has like winning upside. Chan Kim, I think, is boom or bust, so I think he could win.
Yeah.
But yeah, down here, if I'm sub 7, it's probably a lot of Chan Kim. I like to gamble. I like the upside.
He's a gambler, folks. Ryan Moore is always a short course type of guy, but yeah, I think his days are over.
He just has got to keep churning out true golf shoes, and we'll be good.
Bud Colley, I'm going to have in the pool at 6,400, but again, minimal exposure just because getting down here is pretty gross. Shout out to our fearless leader, Seth, who, for your knowledge, Callum Tarrant is in this field at 6,100. Probably barely qualified.
I will not be playing Callum Tarrant.
Me neither. I just had to mention the name because he is in the field somehow. Somehow he made this field. Let's see. That's about it.
That's a very Seth play.
Callum Tarrant, 6,100. Why do I have 700 left in salary? Because I wanted to play Callum Tarrant.
I had to squeeze him in.
Yeah. Last man in.
Well, hopefully this week you and I can get back in the winning bracket with the listeners. I think we got our asses handed to us by Mr. Welch this week, so I think that's 3-4 weeks running.
I hate it. At least I beat you. I didn't get skunked.
We got to kick them out of the listener league.
We just win and they'll leave on their own volition.
I'll up the fee. We'll up it to like $20 a buy-in.
Well, no, their success lately means that we're more likely to be priced out by that than they are.
It's true. That's true.
Let's pull out the hat. Do you have the hat on location?
You know I have the hat on.
Oh
okay.
My God, it's a miracle. The hat is in Minnesota for Tim.
The hat travels, and the hat has selected number 12.
Ooh, that's a good one. I would hate to have a high number at this tournament.
Thank God, hat.
Oh my God!
Not like Nakajima or whatever his name is last week.
Yeah.
12 for me is Harry Hall.
Okay, not bad. So the hat, number 12 in my in my flat model is none other than Adam Svensson. So I'm not claiming that one. That would have been a disaster. All right. It is Christian Bezadenhout.
Yeah, my static one is Harry Hall. My course specific is Keegan Bradley. So the hat might have it surrounded this week. We'll see.
Yeah, so if you like going against the grain and betting on guys that I don't like, go with Adam Svensson. And then if you'd like to go with me, go with Christian Bezadenhout. Ches Reavie made an appearance at 12 on one of my filters too.
Go with God if you're betting Ches Reavie.
Yeah, Christian Bezadenhout is a much better play.
All
right. Who's got this win? I got Siwoo Kim winning this thing at 22 under par.
Sung J M, same number.
All right. Next week begins the FedEx Cup playoffs at the FedEx St. Jude in Nashville, Tennessee.
I might actually be home for that one, so a little better internet, a little less chaotic schedule.
Hey, you did great. Thank you for all of you out there that joined us live on a Monday for the first time, I think, ever. Usually Tuesday night at some time, but you guys all showed out. Make sure you like and subscribe. Next week, FedEx St. Jude playoffs. From Connor, I'm Bo. Peace out.